Let's be honest, when you think of bats, you probably think of rodents with wings. Dirty, blind, blood-sucking creatures of the night. A spooky silhouette you might see flitting across a full moon in a horror movie. But what if I told you that's almost entirely wrong? What if I told you that bats are not only clean, but they can see perfectly fine? That some have social lives as complex as primates? That they save farmers billions of dollars every year? And that some are so bizarre and beautiful, they look like they flew straight out of a legend? Forget what you think you know. We're about to pull back the curtain on the strange, secret, and truly spectacular world of bats. Before we get to the truly mind-blowing stuff, let's clear the air. We need to tear down the flimsy stage set that Hollywood and old superstitions have built. So, let's bust the two biggest myths you've ever been told about bats. First up, the big one. Blind as a bat. It's a phrase we've all heard, we've all used, and it is completely false. No bat on Earth is blind. In fact, many have fantastic vision. Fruit bats, for example, have massive eyes and see incredibly well in low light, way better than we can. The myth exists because of their real superpower, echolocation. Most bats use this biological sonar, sending out high-frequency sounds and listening to the echoes to build a detailed 3D map of their world in total darkness. But it's not a replacement for sight. It's a jaw-dropping enhancement. It's like having a high-tech navigation system built right into your brain. Some can even create acoustic cognitive maps, letting them navigate huge distances using only sound, creating landmarks out of echoes. And finally, the most insulting myth of all, that bats are dirty, flying rodents. Bats are not rodents. They aren't even distant cousins. Let's set the record straight. They belong to their own unique group of mammals called Chiroptera, which means hunt. And if you get a close look at a bat's wing, you'll see why. The bone structure is basically a human hand, with a thumb and long, delicate fingers connected by a thin, flexible membrane of skin. And as for being dirty, bats are obsessed with grooming. This makes them unbelievably agile in the air. Like cats, they spend a huge amount of their downtime cleaning themselves and each other, keeping their fur in perfect shape for flight and warmth. Fact number 1. The social supercomputer. We usually imagine bat colonies as a chaotic, screeching swarm. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Bat societies are incredibly complex, and their communication is a natural marvel. Studies show a direct link between how social a bat is and how complex its calls are. The more complicated their friendships, the more information they have to pack into every squeak. They have specific calls for different things. Warnings, finding a mate, or just locating each other. A mother bat can pick her own baby's unique voice and scent out of a crowd of millions. They form long-term friendships, they share food, and some species even act as midwives to help other females give birth. But maybe the most stunning example of their social smarts is something called collective foraging. Instead of every bat for itself, they work together like a distributed sonar array. When one bat finds a good patch of insects, it lets out a special feeding buzz. Other bats can hear this buzz from way farther away than they could detect the insects themselves. They're essentially eavesdropping on each other's success, turning the whole hunting party into a single, hyper-efficient, food-finding network.
Fact number 2. The unbelievable athletes bats are the only mammals capable of true powered flight, and they are absolute masters of the sky. Their flexible hand-wing design makes them more nimble than most birds, letting them make hairpin turns and pull off insane aerial maneuvers. But it's their speed that is truly shocking. Forget cheetahs. The Brazilian free-tailed bat has been recorded flying at speeds up to 160 kilometers, or nearly 100 miles per hour in level flight. This makes it arguably the fastest mammal on Earth, and their athletic skill isn't just about their wings. Take the Egyptian fruit bat. While most bats make echolocation sounds in their throat, this species just clicks its tongue. It has such fine-tuned motor control that it can aim its sonar beams in different directions without even moving its head. A huge part of its brain is dedicated just to tongue movement, an adaptation that's wild for a mammal. They're like fighter jets with the most advanced targeting systems imaginable, all controlled by a simple click of the tongue.
Fact number 3. The billion-dollar pest control. Forget the real protector of your dinner plate might just be a bat. These animals are relentless predators of nighttime insects. A single little brown bat can scarf down 1,200 mosquito-sized insects in just 1 hour. One colony of 150 big brown bats can eat almost 1.3 million crop-destroying pests in a single year. When you scale that up, the numbers are just staggering. One landmark study estimated that bats save the U.S. agricultural industry somewhere between $3.7 and $53 billion every single year. They are a free, natural pest control service that protects crops like corn, cotton, and pecans. But their value doesn't stop there. And it's not just about killing pests. Do you like margaritas or avocado toast? You might have a bat to thank for them. Nectar-feeding bats are vital pollinators for over 500 types of plants, including the agave plant used to make tequila, and fruits like bananas, mangoes, and guava. Meanwhile, fruit bats are the farmers of the tropics, spreading seeds over huge distances and helping to regrow entire forests. Fact number 4. The bizarre eaters. We've established that most bats eat insects or fruit, but the menu in the bat world gets much weirder. There are bats that have evolved into highly specialized hunters, tackling prey you would never imagine. Meet the fringe-lipped bat, also called the frog-eating bat. It actually listens for the mating calls of male frogs, and can tell the difference between poisonous and non-poisonous species just by their croak. Then, it swoops down and snatches them right off the forest floor. Then there's the pallet bat of the American Southwest. Its favorite meal is scorpions. It will literally drop from the sky, get into a wrestling match on the ground, and is mostly immune to the scorpion's nasty stings. There are even fishing bats, like the greater bulldog bat, which uses its echolocation to find the tiny ripples made by fish near the water's surface. It then skims the water with its long, sharp claws and plucks its dinner right out of the stream. These specialists just go to show how incredibly diverse and adaptable the bat family truly is. Fact number 5. Meet the mythical beasts. If all of that hasn't convinced you, let's meet a few species so visually stunning they seem like they belong in a fantasy world. First, the Honduran white bat. These are tiny, adorable fluff balls of pure white fur with bright yellow noses and ears. They don't live in caves. Instead, they build their own homes by carefully cutting the veins of large leaves until they fold over, creating a perfect little waterproof tent for their family. On the other end of the size chart is the giant golden-crowned flying fox, found in the Philippines. This is one of the largest bats in the world, with a wingspan that can stretch to nearly 6 feet. But despite its intimidating size, it is a gentle gianta, megabat that eats only fruit and is critical for planting new trees in the forest. And then there are the ghosts, species so rare they're barely known to science. The Hill S horseshoe bat was thought to be extinct for 40 years before it was rediscovered in a single cave in Rwanda. The short-tailed roundleaf bat is critically endangered, with fewer than 1,500 left in the world. And maybe the rarest of all is the Cuban greater funnel-eared bat, which is known to exist in only one cave on the entire planet. A fragile existence that shows just how vulnerable they are. From having social networks that rival primates, to performing record-breaking athletic feats, to providing billions of dollars in pest control, two species that look like they flew straight out of a fairy tale. It's clear, bats are not flying rodents. They are a diverse, intelligent, and absolutely essential part of our planet's health. The single greatest threat these incredible animals face isn't a predator. It's our own misunderstanding. It's the very myths and fears we just spent the last few minutes busting. Bat populations are in decline worldwide, with many species facing extinction from habitat loss and disease. So, if this changed your mind about bats, even a little, the best thing you can do is help change the story. Share this with someone you know. And if you want to take the next step, look up the work of organizations like Bat Conservation International. They are on the front lines, working to protect these vital, vulnerable, and truly mind-blowing creatures. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed uncovering these secrets with us, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden world of animals. We'll see you next time.